welcome to the Section 325 podcast.
The second half.
The second half. How many games? Was it 5 or 6? Last second field goals to win.
I actually had that down.
Ending
6.
it with your game Monday night last night over
Seattle
the Bills.
had one.
Seattle had one. Unbelievable games this weekend. Ravens had the game in hand. Let the Browns come back. Deshaun Watson got hot.
Apparently, maybe he heard our podcast and he didn't like what you were saying.
I don't think he liked what I was saying, and he looked like Deshaun of old.
He wants to play.
Russell looked like Russell of old last night. He was getting creative and running.
I was loving it. And the thing on that touchdown pass to Sutton, that looked like a Wilson to Lockett.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
That was exactly
Wilson
what it
just threw it to a spot, and that guy knew where to go. So obviously they're practicing that thing, and I think everything's coming together in Denver as they're taking down the mighty Chiefs, the mighty Bills.
I mean, in this last 3-4 weeks, the defense have done a big, huge 180.
I wonder what the difference has been.
I don't know if Sean Payton has taken over the play calling on defense. Obviously that 70-point Miami game. I don't know if that was the change. I'm sure there was some talk about, hey, we need to do something else on the field. But whatever it is, it's happening. It's showing. And I'm loving it.
So let's just quickly go down it. Ravens lose to the Browns. Seahawks edge the Commanders. I still want to say Redskins. Yeah. Broncos beat the Bills. Houston takes down the Bengals, who were as hot as anybody. And by the way, 49er fans, you guys are something else. We don't hear about you for 3 weeks. You're quiet. You're hiding in your houses, talking trash 5 weeks into the season. Then we don't hear from you. And the second you get one little victory, I'm starting to get text messages because I picked the Jaguars. Well, you would have done the same thing if the Jags are at home and they're the hot team. And are the Niners in a hole? We don't know. Well, the Niners came out of it big time, and they went right back to where they were.
They had to, because they had to prove who they were. Because I had them, I think, number 8 in my top 10. So
if the I'm getting right away from that. If the Vikings make it to the playoffs, Dobbs is my MVP vote all the way. He's already the MVP of the Vikings.
Absolutely. I mean, who is going to come in mid-season? Again, not knowing the team the week before, not knowing the reps, not knowing the playbook. He's there for 2-3 days, and then comes in as a backup, finishes the game, wins it, and then starts the next game, and wins it again.
It's not like he beat a crappy team like the Packers or something. He beat a division-leading Saints team pretty handily.
Yeah, because I've always talked about the Saints defense has been kind of top 5 at least, and the Vikings, they're doing another 180.
Okay,
again,
so
started the season 0-3, and here we are in the playoff picture. Again,
we talked about it last podcast. He didn't even know the name of his offensive lineman when he went in. They're learning his cadence and how it's unbelievable. I'm a big time fan now of Dobbs. How do you not? And before that, I was a fan of Kirk Cousins. Probably the nicest guy in the NFL.
He's so nice.
But anyway, so Seahawks, Texans, Broncos, Browns. Who are the other 2 teams?
We got Raiders. They won.
Raiders. Did they win in the last second field goal?
Oh, are you talking about last second field goal?
Yeah, last second field goal, because there was 5 or 6 to 2.
There were 6 total.
I can't remember the other one.
No, that's all right.
Oh, Steelers.
That wasn't the last second field goal.
That wasn't?
No.
Okay.
No, Love threw an interception at the end of the game.
Okay. I still don't understand how the Steelers are 6-3 when they have no offense.
No. I mean, we'll talk a little bit more because as my power rankings show here coming up, I don't have them in my top 10.
Okay, well let's get to it. Let's see what we got first. We got to go through Wolf's power ranks.
So going with that, Steelers They do not make the 10. Here's the reason why, because 10, I have the Browns.
The Browns slipping back in.
They slip in. So I had the whole AFC North in the power rankings. That was kind of like a collection group. Now with the Bengals losing, I kind of need to now separate that.
You pushed them out.
I pushed them out. Bengals are not in the top 10.
Sorry, Bengals.
So Browns, they stay in there.
Seahawks move up a spot.
Yep. I had the Browns in there just because of their defense and how they played overall.
Well, Browns are for real. And if Deshaun Watson's going to play like he did in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And he played good all game, but the fourth quarter.
And that's why I have them edging the Steelers. So you could say the Steelers are 11. And then Browns, and then now Seahawks. They moved up. I had them at 10 last week. Again, Gino, I think he watched our podcast. He had great numbers.
He did have good numbers.
2 touchdowns, 360 yards passing, something like that. So
the offense still has got a ton of room to improve. We at times look like we don't know what we're doing, but I think they started to get a little more creative to give Gino an opportunity to get rid of the ball quicker and them to have to account for the running backs, which we talked about last week.
Yep.
Get it to the running backs, and so these guys are pinning the ears back. But okay,
I mean, he threw 47 passes. That's a lot of passing.
And we still were able to run, but we did 70-something plays, which the Ravens did to us the week prior.
Yeah.
So to have 70-something plays of offense, almost 500 yards of offense is pretty good. No turnovers. And I got to tell you, the Commanders, the whole game I was irritated because I'm like, we should be beating these guys. But then I started thinking, okay, they took Philly down to the wire twice. They've been in every single game they've played in. So
even against the Broncos,
and that quarterback reminds me of Brett Favre.
Yeah,
he is definitely a slinger. He's Brett Favre.
Yeah.
So Seahawks are up. Browns are back in. Cowboys holding steady at 8.
I only had to move up one spot. Some people might say, hey, they beat the Giants twice horribly, and you know what? It's the Giants.
It is, but I think the Cowboys are for real.
They are.
I think they're for real.
I didn't want to move them up too much right away because, again, they'll have these blowout games, and then the next week they get blown out. So
that's true.
We'll just see as the weeks
go on. They're up. Number 7, the Jags have to take a little bit of a fall. They did not show up at all. The Niners abused them, and boy, it was.
Yeah, it was sad to watch, really.
Oh, man.
Especially for fantasy owners out there.
Terrible. So the Jags go down.
Dolphins have a bye. They stay where they're at.
They're another one of those teams that are just, we're just going to have to wait it out. But the Lions.
Dolphins, they do play Vegas, so.
I like the Lions. I just, their offense is as good as anybody's. Goff is as good as any quarterback in the league right now.
I would say it's a good high-scoring offense. But
their defense is also giving up a lot of points.
Yeah, they have a great defense. I've held some games, their opponents pretty low, but then on games when they have a high-scoring offense, so does their defense. So it's like any Lions game that you are watching, expect it to be a high-scoring game.
Well, I just saw some guy that he has a podcast, and he predicted the Lions and the Browns in the Super Bowl.
Oh,
could it be the least watched Super Bowl ever if the Lions and
Browns? I would watch that one.
Well, we're gonna watch it, but
that's exciting because one, neither team has been to a Super Bowl, so it's just exciting to see a new team.
I would love it. Anytime the Browns beat the Ravens, I'm happy for them because if you guys don't know this, the Ravens were the original Browns. And they just picked up and left one day. And the Browns, they have sucked for a long time. And their fans still show up to every game, cheering them on. I got a couple buddies that are Browns fans, and they told me a funny story. They're like, I go, what's it like being a Browns fan? And they're like, it's tough, but we have to find things to cheer for. So now we cheer for first downs. And I thought that was pretty funny because, it's exciting to get a first down. But So the for the Browns to be able to beat the Ravens, the old
Yeah.
Cleveland team, and to know that the Ravens have gone on to win 2 Super Bowls since they
Yeah.
left Cleveland.
I mean, in a way, that's like you could say that's the old Browns, but
it's gotta
not.
hurt.
It's
It's
gotta hurt.
gotta hurt.
It has to hurt.
And their
It's like
GM's
it's like
Ozzie
the
Newsome,
Sonics leaving Seattle.
exactly.
Yeah.
When Ozzie Newsome played for the Browns for years as tight end, he's their GM. I believe he's still the GM. I don't know. Niners number 4.
Yeah, I snuck them back in the top 5.
A lot of people stuck them at 2 already.
Oh, I know. So they redeemed themselves for sure. They probably took their bye week and regrouped. They had to prove that they are a top 5 team, and yeah, they just handled the Jaguars all game long. So
yeah, maybe they were looking ahead. It's kind of just listening to some of the interviews.
Mm-hmm.
We learned our lesson. We
Yeah.
got to take care of the opponent that's right in front of us and not look ahead. And they flat out said
that's
it.
Probably that's the case in a lot of situations.
So yeah, the Niners probably thought they were a little better than they were, and kind of caught up with them.
Yep.
But I don't think that you go into play a Cincinnati team that was starting to get hot, and they've been in a recent Super Bowl. I don't think that you just look past them. But I don't know. Ravens still there at 3. Tell us.
I dropped them because again they played a good game overall. A game came down to the last second field goal. I still believe that they are a good football team.
I do too, but if you remember last year, I don't know how many losses they had where they were ahead going in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave up a lot of leads. It was the same thing that happened. I think it's happened 2 or 3 times this year. Well, how many losses do they have? 2, 3?
3 now. No, they're 7-2.
2 losses, 7-2.
Yeah, 7-2.
So it's happened twice this year.
So,
they had a lead in the fourth quarter in both their losses.
Yeah.
So lucky for them, they were way ahead against the Seahawks when we played them. So the Ravens go down one spot.
They go down one spot. Chiefs go up, and
then number 1,
number 1 Eagles. So,
and they were on a bye.
And I'm looking forward to next Monday Night Football. Eagles and Chiefs.
Eagles and Chiefs, great game. But this Thursday
is
Cincinnati and Ravens.
Yeah, this is going to be a good Thursday.
We got some good games coming up, and then
football,
of course Thanksgiving's coming up, so that's always exciting. The Seahawks play the Niners. That's going to be a big game. I just I don't know which Niner team's going to show up, and I don't know which Seahawks team's going to show up. They both have the same record, surprisingly, but we're going to find out. Luckily, the Seahawks are at home. The Niners whooped Seattle last year 3 games, once in the playoffs.
That's right.
So they have some payback. So I think that should be motivation enough to win that game. But we're going to find out. I think I still got to get past the Rams this next weekend.
Yeah, I guess we'll see because I think Stafford is going to play.
Stafford's supposed to play.
So they're leaning on him playing. So.
That's right. We'll knock him out of the game again, and then they can bring in Wentz to throw.
That's right.
Picks.
Wentz got signed by him. Yeah, they dropped Brett Rippon.
So we'll quickly go through the playoff picture. Looks like AFC, not much has changed, but the
Texans sneaked in. That's the only difference.
And who fell out? The Bengals, right?
Bengals,
yeah.
Because we had the whole AFC North there.
And then in the NFC, the Vikings are in there.
Yeah, they're still in there. They were in there last week.
Were they in there last week?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. Yeah. Okay. Pretty much everything else looks the same.
No, same number 1's Eagles and number 1's Chiefs.
Yeah.
Saints still get that 4th seed with their division. That division has always been kind of up and down. It seems like you can win the division with a 9-8 record.
Well, and then Tampa Bay got a pretty nice victory on Sunday. Who did they beat?
That was one of our game picks. They beat Texans.
No, Texans beat Bengals.
They played the Texans. Titans.
Yeah, they beat Will Levis and the Titans. Levi's.
Yeah, Will Levi.
No, Willie.
Billy Jean. Billy Jean is not my.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, we got it down, everybody.
We got it down.
All right, guys.
We're just really bad with quarterback names, apparently.
I think we should just skip this section of the.
Well, we got to maybe your section, but we got to show how well I did though too.
Oh gosh, here we are.
All
So
right, so we're
here's
gonna
my
start with
picks.
Sean's.
We're gonna go through mine quickly. Niners and Jags. Obviously, Niners whooped the crap out of the Jags. I had the Jags picked, missed that one. Picked the Bills for sure. I thought the Bills were going to beat the Broncos, but no. So from now on, my picks are going to be the opposite of what I think, and let's see if I can get back in the race. Saints and the Vikings. Saints should have won this game. Dobbs is in his first week as quarterback, and no. Did pick the Raiders over the Jets. That was a quality pick, and I managed to get 1 out of 4. And then Travis, you picked the Bucks over the Titans. Good pick.
Yeah.
You picked the Steelers over the Packers. Again, that came down to the wire.
It did.
Either way.
Again, Love threw that interception at the end of the game. It was a good close game throughout. But again, Steelers defense, they were able to seal the win. So,
and then Ravens, who wouldn't have picked the Ravens going into this game?
I mean, Browns,
I don't think anybody picked
that
the Browns.
surprised everyone, I believe.
So, and then you picked my Hawks, and that was a good pick for you. So here you are, dominating now. Let's, Now you're up 4 games on me.
Yeah.
I got to turn this around, but I got half a season to do it.
You do.
All I got to do is beat you by 1 the rest of the way, and I'm going to win this thing.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I hope you guys did well in your picks. We're going to make some more here in a minute.
And I am now in the green.
You are. You have a winning record. Let's just skip right along. Random picks from the bag. This is exciting. Travis brought this to the show.
You want to go first?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
you won. Whoever's winning has to go first.
Let's change it up a little bit. All right. So Bears at Lions. I love the Bears quarterback. His dad, the arm wrestler.
Yeah.
And, it's a great story. But I don't think they can handle the Lions at home. So I'll pick the Lions for sure.
Okay.
That's going to be a high scoring offense. I think their defense will be able to put more pressure on the Bears. So
I would agree with you. I think the Lions would win that game.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the Bears are going to win if I think the Lions will win. So. Anyway,
hey, it's not your pick, but
here we go. So Cowboys at the Panthers. I said I was going to pick the opposite of what I thought, but I'm definitely taking the Cowboys in this game. I think it's a no-brainer. I think their quarterback. I never liked him coming out of college. I don't like the guy.
Yeah.
I think he's too small. I think he's just going to get hurt. And Dak Prescott is not going to get beat by this rookie quarterback. So taking the Cowboys over the Panthers.
But it would be funny if the Panthers win.
If the Panthers win, then the Cowboys don't even deserve to be in the league.
So you're sticking with it?
Sticking with the Cowboys.
Are you sure?
Yes. I mean, no. But I'm going to take the Cowboys.
All right. So I got the Buccaneers at Niners. But Buccaneers have been kind of up and down all year. They've been in great games, and then they would lose games when they should have won. And Niners, coming off that win, they're going to go back home and take care of business and continue their win streak to 2.
I would agree with you.
So yeah, I got the Niners on that one.
I love that I picked the Raiders. Raiders are playing the Dolphins. Now, do the Raiders have a winning record?
They do. They won
5-4
with their interim. No. Yeah, they're 5-4.
I think they're 5-4 or 4-5. It's one of them.
I know they have a 2-win streak right now.
I need to know if they have a winning or losing record because that will determine. Because the Dolphins can't beat anybody with a winning record.
I can. That's
Let's
true.
find out what it is.
Please hold.
The Dolphins are at home. They're coming off a bye. The Raiders are on a bit of a hot streak, winning 2 in a row against probably teams people didn't. I mean, the Jets. They're so bad.
They're 500.
They're 5-5-5.
Yeah, 5-5. Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go with I think I'm going to pick the Raiders just because it's the opposite. I'm going to pick the opposite. I wanted to pick the Dolphins. I'm going to pick the Raiders. I think it's going to bite me, though. No, I'm going to pick the Dolphins. Dolphins are coming off a bye. They're going to be healthy. They're going to be excited to be home. Raiders are due for a loss. So, man, if If the Raiders win, I will definitely be picking opposites. But I'm taking the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
Dolphins it is. Sorry, Thurston.
Yeah, sorry, Thurston. They still suck.
Hey, I got the Sunday night game.
Oh,
Vikings and Broncos at Denver.
woo!
Yeah. Again, these are both teams have turned around, did a complete 180 from the beginning of the season. They were both 0-3. So you would think that the way the Vikings have been playing offense, and when does Jefferson gets back? He comes
Well,
back
they
soon.
talked about it coming back this week. They didn't let it happen, so it could be.
Yeah.
It could be this game.
So that might be a game changer. But you know what? I'm going to stick with my Broncos. That's going to be my pick at home. That would have been a great game to be at. I wish I could go primetime game Sunday night. But yeah, Broncos all the way. Their defense has done something those last few weeks. I mean, the last 2 games, 9 turnovers.
I mean, you've taken out Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen.
Yeah,
those
are 2 elite playoff teams. Well, Bills right now, they're not in the picture, but
Well, here's a game I'm sure all of
Broncos.
you guys are probably going to be watching. The Cardinals have been in a lot of their games. I don't know that they were even in it with the Ravens, and but now you've got the little guy back at quarterback. What's his name?
Murray.
Little Murray runs around like a little child.
That stole your cell phone.
Yeah.
Every single time he holds that football, it looks like he's running
Yeah.
around after he sold your cell phone.
But here we have the Texans with their rookie quarterback, and they're playing lights out. They just took down Cincinnati, who was on a 4-game winning streak, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And Texans are at home. Boy, this is a tough pick. I think this is very evenly matched, these two teams. With that being said, I was going to pick the Cardinals just because Murray's back, so I'm going to take the Texans in this game.
All right.
Oh, gosh. I have no confidence in the picks.
You think you could go 4-0? All right, I got the Titans and Jaguars.
Both coming off losses.
Yeah, and I think Jaguars. I mean, I think they already played earlier this year.
They're a road team. They were talking about it before. They won their 2 games in Europe.
Yeah.
Okay, then they came back and they won 2 games on the road against quality teams. And they go home to play the Niners and get absolutely slaughtered.
Yeah. I'm going to pick the Jaguars. They're at home. I think
Billie Jean? No Billie Jean?
No Billie Jean.
Okay.
I mean, he had a great game like a couple weeks ago where he threw 4 touchdowns, but then he followed up with it with a loss, 0 touchdowns. Kind of disappointing. So he'll do fine, but I think Jaguars will bounce back from their loss last week against the Niners. So I got Jaguars.
Okay. Well, I got the Bengals Ravens this Thursday night game.
Yeah.
This is a big one, you guys. This is the Bengals are going to need this a little more than the Ravens. The Ravens will still be in first place with a loss. They'll be tied, obviously, with the Browns. And then this will put the Bengals 1 game behind because they're 5-4 right now.
Yes. Yep.
So this would be a huge game for the Bengals. However, they are on the road going into probably a pretty pissed off Ravens team. And, oh my goodness. I am going to take the Bengals in this one on the road. I think that they need it more. And only because I was going to pick the Ravens, I think I need to go the opposite on this one. So I'm going to take the Bengals.
I love it.
Because I need it.
Oh, man. Do you think you'll I'll click the button again. Do you think you're doing okay? You think you got a good selection of picks?
Yeah, I think I should go 4-0. I should go 4-0. But okay. I really want to pick the Ravens, to be honest with you. I really, really do. Oh, man. But the fact that Bengals lost to Stroud and the Texans, I don't know how good the Texans are. I just don't, and I've never seen them play yet. Mm-hmm. I just noticed they've been in every game. They've beaten teams like the Steelers and the Bengals. and you had put both those teams in your playoff.
Yeah, they have played
or top 10.
I think they bring their game more when they have to play these tougher teams, and then they think because they lost to the Panthers, they gave Panthers their one win. So yeah, I mean, honestly though too, they have a great young team that is balanced by a few veterans that are on the team that you may not know, but I mean, what they have going in Texas and Houston is something. So I mean, if this isn't their year, next year will probably be a great year for them.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my Bengals pick. I really want to take the Ravens, but I feel like I got to shake it up a little bit just because of how I was really confident last week in all my picks.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you were.
And to go 1-4 is so I got to shake it up a little bit. I think the league is shook up a little bit.
Yeah,
we got teams beating other teams that shouldn't be happening, and then you got teams that should be winning for sure, and it's not happening. So,
yeah. So, well,
anyway, okay. So that's our picks, you guys. We'll see who you guys are going to take.
Anything else that you saw over the weekend?
Dude, Dobbs that whole thing is just shocking to me. How many times have we seen a backup quarterback come in, and it seems like the backup plays well when the guy goes down during a game.
Mm-hmm.
They come in, they play pretty well, but they play preseason games. They've been with the team the whole year. And then they kind of fall off. That excitement falls off. There's enough on the tape to kind of see what they're about, and you kind of know how to stop them. And they're not at the same level as a starter, obviously, or they'd be starting.
Well, I've been impressed with the rookies that have been playing this year so far. There have been 10 rookie quarterbacks that have started a game so far this year. I think that's quite a bit.
I look around the league, and there's some guys that are really tough, right? Yeah. You think about defensive players, there's guys that are tough that you wouldn't want to meet in an alleyway or in a dark night. But I'm a little bit older where I grew up, and those guys were tough. There were some tough football players back in the day.
I mean, a lot of these, I think every game now I've been noticing, you're going to get a personal foul, helmet-to-helmet hit. It's like every game. Or maybe even every team is getting one of those. When back in the day,
guys would pop right up.
Steve Atwater or someone will be lighting people up and not get penalized.
Atwater probably would have not made any money in the league. He'd have been fined every week in today's rules. That guy just put his body on the line. I've never seen anybody hit harder than that guy. Yep. Cam Chancellor's another guy that comes to mind, but he had to play within the rules that they've changed. And I just don't see the guys being as tough. They just don't seem as tough as they used to be, but they get hurt a lot more. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because of some quarterbacks, I won't name any, they feel like they need to be soft on them. You barely touch a quarterback as they're just releasing the football, and they look back to the ref and like, whoa, where's the flag? I just don't like that. I don't like how they react to where they expect to get a flag or not. So
yeah, I don't know why we're not in a place where we're reviewing any roughing the quarterback penalties or any unnecessary roughness penalties at all.
Yeah,
those should all be looked at big time. Now, in the Seahawks game, we had one of the defensive backs went in on Tyler Lockett, helmet to helmet.
Oh, yep. Okay. I saw that.
But to me, he looked like he was trying to wrap up, and I think Tyler has a tendency to go down.
Yeah.
Fall down, and the guy's trying to get low. Tyler's already low. But they looked at it and they threw him out of the game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is not a vicious hit. Sorry. I've seen vicious hits where you're like, get that guy out of there. That was terrible.
Well, even in the Packer game in Denver, Kareem Jackson, he got kicked out of the game and then suspended for 2, originally 4, but got down to 2. Again, you can argue about that same hit.
Yeah, maybe they're just trying to get people to just stop doing it. So but then now I hear that some of these running backs have been getting fined. They don't talk about it during the game.
Yeah, no, they don't talk, or they don't get penalized during the game.
But they go back. No, but they go back and look at it, and if they drop their helmet on a guy
on a block,
they're
or
getting
something.
fined as well.
Yeah.
They're just not getting the penalty for it.
Yeah, and Williams with Denver got a couple of those already
Which,
this year.
I'm telling you, that was third down. Tyler dropped the ball. He got hit in the helmet, and that gave us a first down to go down and score touchdowns or field goal. And so that kept the drive alive, which happens to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I saw many penalties of illegal use of the hands, keeping drives alive. I still think it's the worst penalty in football.
Yeah. What did you think of the last drive Monday night game? Wilson on that third down, 40 seconds left, throwing the ball downfield. It was a little bit underthrown, so Judy had to make a play for it. But the defender ran into him.
I would have rather seen the Bills win. I like Josh Allen.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a Bronco fan, but I used to be a Russell Wilson fan. So I'll tell you what happened when they loaded up the box and they sacked him the play before.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, that's just terrible. Well, they didn't even have a second. You didn't have any time at all.
No.
So when I saw him, they're coming again. I go, freaking throw it over the top. Just heave one up. What do you have to lose?
Exactly.
You're going to lose this game anyway.
Yep.
And doggone it, if they didn't do it, throw it up, and it was underthrown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Russell, I'm sure, was, he didn't put a good throw on it. And it was awesome. They got the pass interference. Why not? You're either going to catch it, drop it, it's going to be picked, but you have a better chance of getting a pass interference when they least expect it.
Yep.
They didn't expect it.
No.
They did not expect it. And if Wilson would have put that ball in the money, it would have been a touchdown.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which it worked out better for you to run the clock out than to give Josh Allen another opportunity.
And with that, that last 30 seconds running off the clock, forcing the Bills to use their timeouts, I thought that was brilliantly coached well. Mm-hmm. That was not a team that would have done that last year in Denver. Hackett would not have been able to do all that.
Okay. Here's the other part of that. I got to tell you, when I saw him throw it over the top, I was like yelling at the Bills. I was like, that's what you get. That's stupid. Okay, you can. I'm all for blitzing, but an all-out blitz where you're 1-to-1 with
a receiver downfield
and Russell Wilson throws a good deep ball.
Yeah.
I just thought it was stupid, and I was like fired up, and I was like, that's what you deserve.
Yeah, so I was happy.
I know you were happy.
I was jumping up and down.
For the record, also, we were texting back and forth during the game, and all of a sudden Travis was like, I can't talk. I'm shutting my phone off. Ooh, I was like, what a baby.
I just didn't want to hear from you. I didn't want to miss anything.
You could have just turned your phone over and ignored me. But to let me know you're going to ignore me, that was even more rude.
But no, that game was just, I'm sure you guys probably watched it. It was just a great outcome. Just to run, be able to down the ball, run your offense off the field, run the special teams unit. You know that it's planned out, ready. They're ready to go. Took the Bills off guard, which they had their 12th man on the field, and Russell is still benefiting on the 12th man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he is. Well, there it is.
Yeah. But yeah, I was the first kick when it went right. I just put my head down, and then I heard that there was a penalty on the flag.
And I was ready texting you. What an idiot! Idiot! Stupid play. And I was like, you freaking idiot! You missed the kick. And to give him another chance, you don't give a professional anybody a second chance.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
And with that penalty, this goes back when I was in high school. Like when you are on a special team unit, like let's say the field goal block or defense, you know what you are doing out there. Mm-hmm. There's 11 players that has a job, and there's 11 players that are supposed to be out there. What was that 12th player thinking when he's lining up? He's like, "Hey, I'm here on the field goal block. I shouldn't be here."
What? Yeah. What happens?
What happens? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know why that is not in your head. So, I mean, whoever that 12th man was.
Yeah, he might be looking for a job.
Shame on you. Again, it's just
maybe
one of those
it was
things.
DeMar Hamlin. He did come into the game and play his first defensive,
and he does play special teams, but I don't know. So,
and they didn't want to say anything because it was DeMar.
Maybe.
Anyway, quickly.
Anyway,
as we're wrapping up, without thinking about it, who's going to be in the Super Bowl right now? As if we ended right now and the playoffs started, who's your two teams? Quick.
Eagles and Who's on the? Oh man, I don't want to say Ravens. Eagles and Ravens.
Okay, I got Eagles Chiefs. A
Again,
rematch of
yeah,
last year.
Rematch.
So
Okay.
I don't want to pick against Chiefs until
I mean,
someone knocks them off. But
yeah, I mean it's true. I just want to see a challenger and someone else in the playoffs, like the Ravens, challenge the Chiefs, and I think that could happen.
I think the Eagles had a perfect time for a bye. Their quarterback's
Yeah.
hobbling a little bit. This should help him.
And Eagles have a tough schedule looking forward.
They got to play the Seahawks, you guys.
Yeah.
That's as tough as it gets right there.
They play the Chiefs. They play San Francisco, Dallas, Seahawks, and yeah, those are their tough games. And Buffalo, if you want to consider them still.
Yeah. Well, I still think Buffalo's a
Yeah.
good team. They're in every game.
They fired their OG or OC this
I
morning.
saw
Did you
that
see
Dorsey.
that? Yeah.
So, but he still gets paid. I was thinking about most people that get fired, they don't get paid, but these guys are in a contract, so they get their money.
Yep.
Anyway, that's our show for today.
Get your picks in. Thurston, he went 4-4.
4-4.
Yeah. So he got the Niners, Broncos, Raiders, and Seahawks. So he went all West teams.
Yeah, he did.
So,
well, he's a West Coast guy. He's always walking around doing this. I don't know what that means, but
so get your picks in. There's 8 here. We have them up on the screen. And yeah, text us, message, comment your picks, and we'll announce them if you do well. So
yeah,
yeah, play along, and yeah, that's what we got for you.
Section 325 signing out.
The second half.